Hello and welcome to World Politics. The Russia-Ukraine war has now entered into a very crucial and dangerous phase. Annexing territories that Russia does not even hold is an act of desperation. An act of bravado that Moscow knows that it presently can't back up on the battlefield. The four regions of Ukraine, that is Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson, were annexed by Vladimir Putin in a grand ceremony. But on the ground though, Russia does not even control all the territory that Putin claims is now a part of Mother Russia. The capture of the key logistics and transport hub of Lyman is the clearest evidence that Russia's annexation claim stands on crumbling ground. As this map shows, Russia controls just 60% of Donetsk. Luhansk is the hotbed of a Ukrainian counteroffensive. The capital of Zaporizhia is firmly in Ukrainian hands, while Kherson's capital is under pressure. The stunning Ukrainian counteroffensive that reclaimed over 9,000 square kilometers of territory from areas around Kharkiv has pushed Russia on the back foot. Russia had dominated the battlefield for the first 6 months of the war, since the siege of Kiev. It had relied on its superior artillery to outgun and outflank Ukraine. But the influx of Western weapons such as HIMARS and drones, backed by Western intelligence, has tilted the battle in favor of Ukraine. The course of the war has been altered, but the outcome has not been decided yet. But this uncertainty is what might push Russia to resort to unpredictable actions. The recent outburst by the Russian President Vladimir Putin that he will not succumb to nuclear blackmail and will use all means possible is a dangerous escalation. Ramzan Kadyrov, the leader of Chechnya, has suggested that Russia should use low-yield nuclear weapons to turn things round on the battlefield. Besides this, Vladimir Putin has also ordered for the mobilization of 300,000 reservists. There cannot be a more clearer indicator that the war has soured for the Russian war machine. To call up reservists means that Russia has lost a number of soldiers on the battlefield, and is now finding it hard to fill up its ranks to fight. Russia has one of the world's strongest air forces, and in the Ukrainian war, the role of the Russian Air Force has been minimal. This is something that has baffled military analysts around the world. Moscow claims it has held itself back. It has not unleashed the full force of its air force, as that would result in very high collateral damage. But Kiev has a different take on the missing Russian Air Force. It claims its air defense systems have played a key role in ensuring that the Russian fighter jets don't dominate the Ukrainian skies. In this video tweeted by the Ukrainian Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov, he claims that the Ukrainian troops managed to shoot down a top Russian Su-30 fighter jet using a Stinger missile provided by the West. Instead of using its air force, Russia has complemented its ground troops with missile attacks and long-range shelling. In this video put out by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, Russia used what is being described as a high-precision cruise missile to strike civilian buildings. And this is an image from the city of Bakhmut, where Kiev has accused Moscow of systematically targeting neighborhood after neighborhood. There have been accusations that Russia may have used phosphorus bombs on Ukraine. Turns out that Russia has been using the 9M22C incendiary shells to cripple the Ukrainian counteroffensive. This video is of the Russian forces raining fire from the sky in the recently recaptured village of Ozerny in the Donetsk region. And this will give you a glimpse of the kind of firepower that Moscow has been breathing down on Ukraine. In the battlefield, a country that can field the more deadly ammunitions always has the edge. But Ukraine has sought to blunt the superior firepower of the Russians through smarter weapons, better intelligence, and superior resolve. This video put out by the Ukrainian Defense Forces is just an indicator of the tactics that Ukraine has deployed to sneak up on the Russian war machine undetected to wreak havoc on the Russian tanks. Ukraine has also deployed its Neptune anti-ship missiles, the type that took down the Russian flagship of the Black Sea, the Moskva cruiser. War is as much about propaganda and morale as it is about strategy and logistics. Long queues have been witnessed at Russia's land borders with Finland, Kazakhstan, Georgia, among other nations, where Russian soldiers have been trying to flee from the country to avoid conscription. Ukraine has released a video that shows that the Russian men who are being called in to serve in the Russian army are essentially only being sent to their death. The next few weeks of autumn remain very crucial. Once the winter sets in and snow begins to fall, the battle lines will freeze again. Ukraine will try and push Russia further back, while Moscow's strategy looks like that of consolidation. Kremlin is now looking to fortify the gains it has made on the battlefield through its annexation. The Western strategy to starve Moscow of its funds to hobble the Russian war machine have failed. Instead, Europe is staring at a bitter and a long winter once the snow begins to fall. No one can still predict how this most furious conflagration, since the end of the Second World War on European turf, will end. If you liked this episode of World Politics, make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.